How's it going, everyone? This is your friend Tom Moore coming at you live from Spyderco, Millie, PM2 Para 3 Club on YouTube. We don't broadcast Facebook anymore, unfortunately, so this is where we live, is on YouTube. And today we're going to do some sharpening. And we're going to sharpen this Hinderer. It is CPM 20 CV steel. You know that. Steel, it's a good all-around steel, to be honest. This is a pretty cool Hinderer, ergonomics wise for me. I like the way it chokes up. I like how I can put a finger up on the choil and choke all the way up. It feels nice. The flippers are very flippery on Hinderers. They're large. That's not quite my taste, but fun enough to play with. I always like getting something new in. I don't get a ton of Hinderers for a little bit anyway. So let's get going. We're going to clamp this right here. This is pretty simple to sharpen clamp setup. It's just straight across. There's a flat spot, so we're going to use that in our clamp. And we're going to turn the line kind of like that. Get a good purchase on the flat. We get pretty much straight across the edge from the clamp. Nice and sturdy. Let's do our tape up job. I used to not do this. I don't know how. I used to not tape up my knives. It makes sharpening on them so much easier when you don't have to worry about scratching something. It's worth the 30 seconds it takes to put tape on it to not have to worry about it again. Especially when it's not my knife, and like sometimes I'll take off tape and I'll see scratches underneath it. I'm like, whew, if I didn't have this here, I'd be thinking I might have done that. So it just protects someone's knife so I don't fuck it up. Makes sharpening it way faster, especially at the heel. You don't have to be so delicate. Sharpie up. Live and die by the Sharpie. Even on knives I think I know the angle on, I'm often wrong. So Sharpie doesn't tell a lie. So right now we were around 23 degrees, I'm guessing. Let's see what we look like here. We are, not far off this angle throughout the edge. You can kind of see this. Right here at the heel, we're hitting the leading edge, which means the angle's too high. Right about here through here, where you see there's basically all the Sharpies removed, that's at the right angle. And then when you go to the tip, you can see how the tip has, it's got Sharpie on the tip instead of, or the leading edge. So the angle changes throughout the edge. So this is kind of in the middle. That's kind of where we want to be. That's where we're going to average that edge out, it looks like. Let's see what this side looks like, though. So this one is kind of similar, except for in this case, hits leading edge here and then grows and gets kind of flat. So let's see what this angle is, or how close it is to a full degree. I like to set my edges to something that's easy to remember. So if there's an angle that's close to where my Sharpie is, I will adjust. And we're dead on at 23 degrees. So we're going to leave it there. Right at 23. And let's see how well this profiles. We got our tape on. We got our stop collar set here. So I'm going to swing across the edge with my thumb, making sure the stone can never go up on the face of the blade. Make sure the stop collar's tight. Make sure everything's screwed in. And let's go. I really enjoy working with, let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. I really enjoy the low grit stones. Like, don't get me wrong, I love doing a polished edge, and the results and the payoff and the content I get to make are totally worth the extra effort. But the fun part of sharpening for me is this stone. It's making the bevel look the way I want. this is the fun part. The lowest stone is always the most important because it's we're going to take chips out or any problems. It's what's going to make your edge look legit, because you're not going to get big issues out or square up a heel or even out the grind with the high stone. So this is the fun part of sharpening to me, is making the edge uniform, because this one's definitely not. This one is the same as the other side. They both start at a lower degree and into the higher degree or whatever. So we're just trying to get all the Sharpie up right now. This steel is conforming to my stone quite well. So we've now, oh wow, this steel is easy to sharpen. We got a really good burr at the, got a good burr there. I'm using my side of my finger. We got a burr throughout the edge, so we're profiled as far as sharpness goes, and we'll do it again another pass to make sure it's all even and looks nice. Now we'll hit this side. You can hear the burr. When I first hit a virgin spot of steel, you can feel the burr when it's formed. It's like a higher pitched noise. Always got to pay special attention to your heels at the very end of your edges. Make sure you don't overdo them, but make sure that they're all the way sharpened as much as you can, so it's even with the edge, because they always seem to like lag behind everything else, especially on a mirrored edge. They'll like be scratchy sometimes, so you just gotta pay extra attention to the heel. Make sure you hit it more so than any other part of the edge. The side came out quite quick. It's all profiled, it looks like. The tip's looking nice and pointy already, so we're not going to fuck with it too much. If you have a nice tip, the best tip I can give to you is don't try to make it better, because making a tip better is not for everybody. So if it looks good already, just don't fuck with it. Okay, we got a burr. I can see it throughout the edge. It's formed. So we're profiled both sides. We've apexed the edge. So now this is a cleanup pass for me with the low grit stone with that 150. Kind of kill the burr a little bit. You definitely feel and see and hear it. Let's check out our heel here. This side we got a little more work to do on our heel. It's kind of hard to see the lighting right here where I have the camera. The heel's got a little bit of Sharpie on it. Okay, let's see, that's good. Okie doke. Clean up pass on this side. Minimize the burr. Side looks really nice. The heel's done. For any major scratches that I'm not going to get out easily with the 400. Okay. Now we're going to switch to our 400 grit stone. And we're taking this all the way to 5,000. So we're just doing forward strokes, keep our scratches lined up. Make sure our heel is nice and scratch free. Let's do a quick pass. I usually do 2 passes with the 400 grit stone on each side, so I don't have to do a ton here. This is just to get it to to where it needs to be, and then I do the next pass is to make sure I get any issues out that are still there. Okay, one more pass. See if we got anything that needs to get our attention. So I'm looking in the light and rotating around, looking for scratches that are deeper than the rest of the scratches, because those won't come out at a higher grit. So anything that's noticeable at 400 grit, you got to get out at 400 grit, because if you have an issue, going after stone is not going to make it better. It's going to make it harder and harder to get out. You'll not get out a deep scratch with the higher grit stone if you can't get it out with the lower grit stone. Alrighty. 800 grit stone. Now we're just polishing. This will remove the burr pretty much. This stone does. It'll start to flake off, just like powder quickly, like that. And this is where I'm still learning and kind of struggle with knowing where to stop on these higher stones, because you do one or two passes and it looks like it's done. And it probably is, but I just feel like it's got to be more effort to polish it to get those scratches out. So I just keep on going forever. It's hard to find a good place to stop. So let's look at it in the light. Looks good. We're gonna flip. This knife is part of a larger order of 4 knives this guy sent in. They're all nicer knives for sure. And they're all getting polished edges. I got, what else? I did an Olamic this morning. I have a ProTech, Malibu, and a Mini Arius. They're getting sharpened still. Okay, now we're looking at the light. And I'm seeing right here, there's kind of like, it's not hard to explain, but like it goes shiny, matte, shiny, matte. So that's just kind of where the strokes start and stop sometimes. So you just kind of have to work the whole edge like this. Make sure our heel's done. Okay. $2,000 grit stone. Okay, looking in the light, trying to do less polishing if it's not necessary. It looks pretty shiny already. Okay, let's see how this looks. Sure, heels nice and polished up. Okay, last stone, 5,000 grit. What up, Timmy T? Thanks for joining me. We're just about to wrap this one up. We're on the last stone, and we've got a strop to go and a cut test, and we'll call this one a day. So 5,000 grit, it's really hard to tell what you're doing between it and the 2,000 grit. It's just where I'm sitting with the lighting and everything. It's hard to see what scratches are getting removed. But when you look at it on camera, you can definitely tell the difference. When I film a reel with them. So 2,000 grit looks good. 5,000 grit looks great. But it's not a huge noticeable difference. Then I have an 8,000 grit stone, which I don't use because I don't think it does anything, but I could be wrong. I don't think my edges are good enough for it to make a difference, though. Okay, so now we're done. I just got my full set of premium CBN Hapstones all the way to 2,000. Nice. You'll do good edges with 2,000. They look nice. I go to 5, but it's not very noticeably different. And it's probably not worth the extra fucking $90 for another stone. So you'll be happy with that. If you have any problems getting them to cut, hit me up on Facebook because they may need to be lapped. They may need to have the top layer taken off, glazing. Mine didn't seem to need it, but other people have said that they have needed to lap theirs to make them cut right. I lapped mine the other day, though. That doesn't seem right. How is that possible? That's why. I almost screwed up my strap. Yeah, they might need to be lapped, so hit me up if they do, if they're not cutting fast. Okay, take it up to 23 degrees. Okay, now we're just going to do pulling only strokes. I don't do a ton of stropping. I have all the gunny juices. I have tons of strops. Honestly, if you have good stones, you polish up as high as we have gone here, you don't need to strop with every single diamond emulsion. I mean, I'm sure you could, but in my experience, the more you strop, the more apt you are to make it duller or screw something up. So, I don't know. This is plenty enough shiny. This is one quick strop. It does make a difference, though, for sure, visually. And this also makes sure if you have any little burr left on your edge, which is not going to be the case when you polish this high, but if you're at a lower grit, it will also pull the extra burr off. So all you're really doing is the idea is you're straightening the very tip of the edge by just pulling down only, but that's the only stropping I do. It's just one quick pass with one. That was 0.5 microns. Yeah, if you're in the market for shopping for diamond emulsions, you don't need them all. You don't need to get every single one of them. I use gunny juice. It works very well at every micron, but I don't feel like I need to run through every single one of them because I don't go for perfectly scratch-free edges. I just go for really good, nice edges. But if I had to go scratch-free, they'd cost a lot more. And I don't know if I could do them. Okay, we got a piece of nice chewed up magic eraser. Spray some gunny glow. And then we're going to get the Sharpie off the edge. Clean it up. Clean any tape residue off. Careful with your finger. It's easy to cut yourself doing this, for sure. I have done it many times. Okay, we're all good. Now we're going to take a chamois cloth, wipe her down. And Most important thing, cut test, just seeing how it feels slicing through printer paper. I don't go for crazy hair whittling or whatever tests. You can feel what the edge feels like, because this is realistically what you're going to cut stuff with. If it cuts like that, we're all good. So there we go. There's a finished product. Turned out pretty well. Pretty good. So yeah, that was a Hinderer, sharpened to a polished edge. Sharp, it looks good. It's all even now. Follow me, Tom Moore, on Instagram at Thomas O. Moore or Tomas O. Moore. Check out my other sharpening stuff and all my other good content. It's again Tom Moore from the Millie Club signing off. I'll be back, I don't know, with more sharpening soon enough. But thank you all for joining me, and peace out.